Every video that you will see in this video is AI. All of them are made from artificial intelligence. And this particular video is going to be something that I am a bit new to making, a bit more extended, quite long form, little edits, just a little bit of talking on my part. I find it quite concerning that it's been 3 years since open source artificial intelligence has been introduced, at least to my knowledge. ChatGPT came out in 2022, and from how I've seen it, there's been a floodgate releasing there's been open floodgates of various different AI tools and equipment and other forms of language learning models that have entered the market. And while it is good in some aspect because we're pushing forward progress, we're moving on the envelope, we're doing all of these things, the problem that I find that is persistent is the replacement of critical elements of society. And I'll explain a bit, and I'll go forward, and I'll explain a bit in depth this particular thing. But first, I want to focus on the sheer fact that what I saw today is so similar to real life that it can't even be considered an imitation anymore. It's almost a mirror image. The only way that you would have understood that these things were not real were the fact that they weren't talking about anything. If you listen to any of these videos that I'm going to play right now, these people are not talking about anything. They're talking about the prompt theory, probably just saying, this and this is fake. This is just fake. So you know it's fake. But the problem is, if you watch this on mute, you would think, this is a stand-up comedy sketch. This is a street interview. This is a woman talking to her son. But it's all fake. When I say an element of humanity or a societal element is lost, this is what I mean. When ChatGPT came forward in 2022, everybody jumped on it immediately. And the result of that, people argued that it was supposed to be a tool, and people used it as a tool. Searched for a lot of things, used it to automate Instagram pages, created pages very easily, automate YouTube pages. Today they make a bunch of funny stuff. But now it's a replacement for thinking. It's hijacked and used maliciously in certain cases. And a lot of people aren't really noticing how their behavior is changing because it has become second nature to them to simply use AI. We moved from a time where in universities there was no such thing as an AI generation declaration that this essay is free of AI. There was nothing like that. Overnight that came into existence. Overnight people had to learn how to adjust to artificial intelligence within the academic setting. And overnight, people stopped thinking. When you're writing an essay or beginning a project, you have different elements that are there that make up the project. There's planning that's involved. There is various research that needs to go into it, all of those things. Throw that onto AI and it does all of it for you. And if you're really good in university, what you would do is you would then take the AI and then you would take it to Grammarly in order to rewrite it, and then you use a plagiarism checker in order to check if it's not plagiarized, and then you lie on it. That is what majority of people have done. They've done all of those hoops instead of just actually sitting down and doing the work. And not only in university, this extends to the workplace. The fact that workplaces now need to make it official, do not use open language source models when discussing our company, because the LLM will use it as data, obviously. But even then, the fact that was even a thing already shows the diminished thinking capacity that is within. these that has resulted from this implementation of AI. And I know that this isn't really something that many people are going to agree with, but I find it hard to believe that this will simply just be another tool. There are going to be elements that are going to replace. There are elements of society which are going to be replaced or at least drastically changed due to this heavy implementation. Somebody used AI in order to help them draft legal documents, and it referenced a case that never existed. That alone should show you the lack of critical thinking, but also proper referencing and plagiarism, but also double checking, critical thinking. All of that is absent. Double checking, referencing, all of that is absent. You have people that go forward and make these bold claims going forward into the workplace, into the work environment, and yet artificial intelligence is surrounding them heavily. Now you add to the fact that you don't know what's real anymore. How else is society going to function? Literally everything right now. They're even attempting to make movies with these mini movies. Before you could easily tell something was AI, usually because it has a molding effect where it usually camouflages. It's like it works like a cloak, like a chameleon's cloak, where you can see it meld and match, but at the same time it morphs. And many people see how it changes itself. 7 fingers morphing into 5, and then some weird odd shape. Now you need to look even closer. You need to say, the saturation is off, the background is too fake, it's a strange-ish camera angle. No, this mouth doesn't move where this mouth is supposed to move. But when you look at all of these videos, you barely notice any of these things. Worse, to an older mind, they're not even going to notice any of these things in its entirety. Every single video, when Meta's Luma came out, I thought that was as far as it could go. Realistic human faces, clunky-ish movements, but realistic faces and environments. I thought that was as far as it could go. But now you're able to create environments, simulate environments where crowds actually look like crowds, where people speak as if they are people. And only if you have a keen ear and realize that the audio is quite off and they're speaking about nothing, their topics mean nothing, only then are you going to realize that, well, this is fake. But the thing is, who is looking for that? At the end of the day, this looks real. And the bigger problem with that is, how far is it going to go? Now, I've seen a few people. They do say, it may still be used as a tool. I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is going to simply be used as a tool. I think it's going to go further. I think it's going to expand. If you've watched a show called Pantheon, they speak of an uploaded intelligence. I think it's going to take on the role of a more Detroit Become Human-esque environment, where artificial intelligence is given the capacity to simulate thinking, to simulate emotions through an uploaded means, and it's going to become so commercialized and so easily created that everybody's going to have empathy for the AI. There's going to be another race, another human, another race. One people, two races, one planet, two races, or something like that, like Detroit Become Human, something like that. But as we are in the future right now, we're seeing just how bad things are getting. This is something dystopian. This isn't something that is supposed to be looked forward to. I don't see any positive coming from this. And I know that the same hysteria was present when it came to deep fakes, but this is far, far different than that. Obviously, you can use AI in order to manipulate voices, and majority of it has been, I've noticed, is making memes about Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden playing Mass Effect. But that's different from that. I have never seen a deepfake on a president being used in an official accusatory fashion ever. So if anybody knows, show that to me, but I have never seen that before. When you look at the way this is, any regular person is now in the line of sight to be potentially victimized by a fake video. Eventually, God forbid, and this is a thought experiment, there may be a possibility that you won't even be able to trust your family members. Because, and again, just a thought experiment, what if you've been exposed to so many fake videos that believe that everything is fake? What if there's a new type of crime where people hijack your phones, where people get your phone number, simulate a face of your mother, of your father, of your sister, of your aunt, of your uncle, of your girlfriend, of your boyfriend, of your wife, of your husband, of your child, asking you to do favors, asking you to let them in the house, asking you to pay them something. When that reality comes and you cannot tell the difference, how are you going to combat that? Personally, I don't know. But that is a possibility. I didn't expect that lawyers would end up being in court because they are asking a computer intelligence that is like Google to spit out their skeleton arguments. I didn't expect that. I didn't know that the metaverse would really digitally scan your entire face and put you as a human in another area. I didn't know that artificial intelligence would advance beyond Will Smith eating spaghetti. I didn't know that we'd get to a place where you won't be able to tell what is real anymore. You can't believe your eyes nor your ears anymore. So what are you going to believe? And personally, that's a very hard thing for me to reconcile. The fact that all of what I may see won't be real. All of what I may speak about to someone, on the phone, on a computer, the person listening may not even be the real person that I'm talking to. So I don't care about the assertion that movie theaters are going to be affected, all of these, that's trivial. Real society may be affected by something like this, and I don't know how this may be combated. I don't know how this may be changed. All I know is that we're headed down a road, and we're heading down a road that is unavoidable because Pandora's box was open. Pandora's box was opened. The fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was consumed. We are here. And we're moving forward in a direction that nobody's willing to stop at, and nobody's willing to come to a common consensus that it is potentially harmful. And that nobody is willing to universally agree may be harmful. But otherwise, we'll just have to wait and see. And as developments move forward, we just need to make the proper adjustments. So those are my thoughts. Again, this is quite a long video. My recording is 15 minutes, so the video may be longer. I just had to get this off of my chest. This is something that is quite surprising, quite perplexing to me. And yes, again, if you are not aware, every single video that you have seen in this video was made by AI.